Hey everyone, Ryan here, and in today's video we're taking a look at not one, not two, not three, not four,
not five, not six, not seven.
Actually, it is just 4 custom LEGO Star Wars Republic Gunships, courtesy of Republic Bricks, who sponsored this video. We have the Close Bros Republic Gunship here on the left. It'll have 6 minifigs with 1,325 pieces for $320. In the middle here, we've got the Classic Republic Gunship with 1,247 pieces, $320. On the right here, we've got the Dark Blue Muunilinst 10 Gunship with 1,295 pieces, $370. And then kind of the regular blue Muunilinst 10 Gunship, same piece count for $350. So pretty expensive gunships, but with 4 to 6 custom minifigs, that's about $100 of value on top of what you're paying for, I feel like. So not too bad, really. And of course, when looking at custom sets, we'll want to look at the value of the actual LEGO set that has existed in the past. Of course, the last Republic Gunship in 2013. Very expensive on eBay. So these definitely provide a fair alternative for what you might be looking for in a LEGO Gunship. And this is kind of the new design from Republic Bricks, so it's a bit changed up from what I've taken a look at in the past. But he has sent me 1 to actually build, and then 3 of which are pre-built. So let's do the unboxing experience for something that you would actually get if you bought one. Before he's unboxing here, the first thing we'll get is the instructions. They come on a QR code, and so that means you can get them digitally, and then some of the figures will come packaged like this. I do kind of wish they came with the arms put together. That's a bit painful to put together, but these look like they're pretty nice, and we'll take a closer look at the figures from all of the sets in a little bit. And then all of your other pieces are going to come generally bagged, separated by color in a way. Like some of them will be mixed with other colors, but they do a decent job of separating things by color. It looks like the parts for the white doesn't look like anything's like crazy yellowed or bad condition or anything. Do you see anything notable there, Corey? I mean, that's just a quick glance. I guess before we really get into building, it should be noted these are essentially LEGO building instructions. In my experience with pretty much every Republic Bricks set is, there will be at least one time during the build when you're like, what do I do here? And you really got to think about it. But other than that, it's a pretty standard build process. Just takes a while because it's a lot of pieces without numbered bags. Now let's take a look at some Republic Gunships and their respective minifigs from Republic Bricks here. First up, we have the Close Bros Wolfpack Gunship, and the 6 minifigs it includes are 5 Phase 1 Wolfpack troopers, as well as Commander Wolf himself. These are some beautiful looking clone trooper minifigs. I believe they do have Clone Army Customs helmets there, but yeah, definitely very nice additions for my Clone Army. This one with the figures is $400, and then you can also buy this one without the figures for $320. So not bad if you want a pretty sleek looking dark blue gunship. This was the one that we did build fresh from the parts versus the other 3 that came bubble wrapped. But generally it's a normal building experience where it looks like most of the parts are in pretty good quality. One part here is particularly more yellowed, and of course your mileage is going to vary with these sets because they are individually packed and sourced from different bricklink stores. It's just kind of whatever the store sends, I believe, so you do get a little bit of variance there. But we'll go more in depth on the actual builds of the gunship here in a moment and even compare them to the old LEGO one. We have the $350 Arc 10 Muunilinst gunship here. It does include 6 minifigs as well. We can see a much different, less clean looking bunch of characters here, all kind of given the Muunilinst 10 color scheme, which is a really fun color scheme for LEGO Star Wars. It's something way different than we see with some of the normal sleeker looking clones, I would say, but it's also something really fun that you can add to your army. We have Plo Koon with his Jedi robes, I believe, and this is a type of custom figure that I'm not personally a fan of, but I do see a ton of different custom makers do Jedi minifigs like this. I believe Anakin and Obi-Wan are other common Jedi that are given robes that look like this. Oops. I'm just not a huge fan of it, but it is a nice addition for the set if it's something that you're into. The darker blue version of the Muunilinst 10 gunship tacks on another $20 to make it $370. Again, if you use code MNR, it brings 5% off. And this one does only include 4 figures. It's got those guys there. I honestly don't even know if those are the correct figures. They're listed on the website, but they are nice looking figures. 2003 Clone Wars vibes for sure, but less figures than the other sets is definitely not a great thing in comparison. It's one of those things where Republic Bricks previously would just sell the gunships, right? And the price difference would normally be seen in just different colorways because different colors just cost more on the secondary LEGO market. And now when he adds figures in, it kind of becomes a little wishy-washy where it's like, oh, why does this one get less figures? And I really don't have an answer for you as to why this one specifically has less figures, other than probably dark blue costs more, but I don't know that. Didn't look it up. That's just my guess. I'm not really sure there, but that one is $20 more than that one with less figs, so maybe less value there for you, but for what it's worth, I do think that one looks better in the dark blue color than it does in the light blue color. And then finally, the cheapest of the bunch at $330, the regular red Republic Gunship there, unless you get the Plows Bros without minifigs. That one was $320, but I don't think these three have options for minifigless gunships, unless I'm just missing it on the website. But it does have the 6 plain Phase 2 Clone Trooper minifigs down there, and they look excellent. Really a big fan of the design that they've whipped up for these guys. Pretty straightforward though, just 6 regular minifigs added on to a beautiful red gunship. Now, let's talk in depth about the gunships. We'll start with the Plows Bros gunship here, and it's something that I really hope LEGO considers when they go to make another Playsko Republic gunship. Just something outside of the normal red and white Republic gunship. Certainly this dark blue color scheme is something that's equally as clean, but just something a little bit different, more off the beaten path than what we've gotten in the past. And certainly either the Muunilinst 10 or this Wolfpack gunship would be left behind in that case, but one or the other would be really nice. So the design is just beautiful. I think the tiled off look is really, really nice for this whole top part, and even on the siding here, not a lot of studs showing other than on the doors and this side panel and the wings, like just generally very tiled off. And they also did away with the handle here, so there's no handle, so you don't have that kind of eyesore. This is more of like a going for an accurate look on a gunship, and that of course does come at a cost for stability in some areas. Like you're buying a mock, not a Lego set, and when you look at it through that lens, it makes a little bit more sense why something like this isn't like a super strong connection. It's just a couple of clips, because it's meant to look good, not be the strongest connection that they could possibly make it, because to do that you have to sacrifice the looks of a thing in a lot of cases. So it's kind of a give and take with stuff like that, and so in this case, having a little bit of a weaker connection for something that I think looks really, really good and clean working its way up the spine of the gunship is totally worth it. Now, there is an area that I think this set could really improve. I think that adding a 1x6 plate right here significantly improves the experience, because this piece no longer falls off all the time. It also just kind of closes off a bit of the gap that you otherwise have there. So I think just generally it looks better, closes off a bit of the gap, and makes a stronger bit there. So something that I would hope that he would go in and change there. Then we have the lights on the side here. This is the only one of the 4 gunships that I got here that includes any side thing, although they all have this part built in, so you can add in any accessory you want just by using a piece like this, and you could build on whatever you'd like. So kind of cool in that way. You could build on lights like this, or you could just build on something else unique, fun, different, whatever you want to do really. So that's kind of cool in its own way. I guess I'll pull this back off so I can show you that this side panel does open up, and there is some interior space there. Not that you could make too much use of it other than placing some characters or maybe some crates inside. Obviously, for someone like me, I'm going to leave it closed and not put anything in there. This is what it's supposed to look like inside the canopies, with 2 control panels and 2 seats. And we'll just throw in a regular Clone Trooper for this one here, and you can see just how that works. You can close that up and he'll fit right in. And then if we lift this whole section up, you can kind of see how that interior works. You've just got a couple of seats lifted up above the main level there. It's pretty strong. You don't have to worry about them falling through or pushing through or anything. But with that removed, you can see a bit of the internal structure with the Technic pieces, just adding some stability to the center there, so you don't have just these bricks that would like cave in on each other, and then you have the big opening for the main bay of the gunship. But yeah, pretty standard interior there. They don't do anything fancy. Now when it comes to the wings, we've got something a bit different than what I've seen before. We have this flat front with actual tiles on it. Usually it's just like the side of Lego plates, but that's a really nice clean look for that. Then we have kind of the laser dishes inside of the bubbles on the wing as well, so that's in lieu of where a minifigure would be placed in a Lego set, or even the previous model that Republic Bricks sold, the minifigure would go there, but that's the accurate look without the minifig, which is really, really great to actually see. In lieu of one large piece here on the side, they use like 8 tiles to get the angle of that, which looks fine enough. And yeah, the wings are pretty solid. You could even lift the model up by the wings. They don't actually change any position or anything, though. They are kind of locked into place using, I think, a very similar system to what was on the 2013 Gunship. You can see, you can pull it off there and you'll see how it works from the side. On the top here, I believe this is where the missiles are supposed to be located, and that is represented as kind of the ammunition there. Looks rather nice, and that's again like in lieu of a handle or something, or flick-fire missiles maybe previously on some other sets. Just a very nice look for a display or a mock that's not a play feature. This is where I have my biggest issue with even the 2008 LEGO Republic Gunship, and this one of course will be no different. It's the two-door design, and it looks really good in theory and can look really good if you keep it open, but I always want to close the doors. But then when I close the doors, it's not 100% perfectly lined up. You can certainly finagle it around to kind of get there, or maybe even I used to connect on my 2008 Gunship pieces behind this to get them to stay exactly together. But it's not something that's like physically possible with the way that these are built, I believe. So it is unfortunate that you're gonna end up with like a small gap in places. I would just recommend kind of opening the doors and using it as if the gunship is actually releasing the troops. And I think that definitely is the best look for a gunship like this. But with this, you can see that very spacious interior, and you can certainly fit plenty of minifigs inside as you please. I think it definitely is very nice that it's on, you know, a lot of the LEGO ones will try to fit a speeder bike in there or something. And then there's also a loading ramp on the back, so you can drop this down and have figures walk in or out this way, or even have a little speeder bike thrown in there if that's what you're into. But yeah, it's nice. It's part of the set, and it's also just one of those functions that is there as a byproduct of the design. Like, you have to have this angled up anyway, so you may as well allow it to drop and be a ramp, right? Like, that's kind of cool to me too. But I'll tell you, this bottom is probably my favorite part of the design. It's got this really nice curve to it. It's not 100% flush with the side, which gives it a little bit of depth, which I really do like. And you can see just a very nice bottom of a gunship there. Nothing crazy, nothing extra, but that curve is just something that I think makes it look extra good at the bottom. Now, one more thing before we talk about how you can pick this thing up. We have the weapons at the front, which do look really good, but they are one of those things that look good for a mock, but would never make their way into a LEGO set because they fall off way too easily. Now, I suppose you could really try to push it in super hard, and maybe that works and works better, but you know, it still feels like it's going to fall off way too easily whenever you tap it. So it is one of those parts of the design that, while it does look really good, it can be a slight annoyance. Like I mentioned earlier, they did away with the carrying handle. So how would you pick the model up? Well, I think like picking it up kind of from the bottom like this with two hands is kind of optimal. I think it gives you the least chance of breaking anything, but you can also kind of grab it around here. The problem is these engine things kind of get in the way, and they bend and move, and it kind of scares me. So I don't really think picking it up like this, it's also a little back heavy when you do this. I don't think picking it up like this is really the smartest. So I think picking it up from the bottom and flying it around like this is the way to go. Although I should say, you shouldn't be flying it around. It's a mock, not a toy from LEGO. This is a put it in your mock display thing, not a fly it around for fun thing. Now, speaking of carrying handles, the only LEGO Republic Gunship with one was the 2013 Gunship, and please excuse this Gunship that I bought on Mercari. I know it is absolutely yellowed and does not look very good against the white there from the Republic Bricks, but it was the one that I had handy for this video. It's also missing some pieces at the front, so again, excuse that, but it gives us enough of a comparison, I think. So the carrying handle, of course, is really nice to have, but the detractor for it, of course, is the look, and that's what Republic Bricks went in and did differently, or had his designer do differently in this case. Is it's just a clean, nothing extra there kind of look, versus this, which definitely looks a little bit messy now that you look at it in comparison. And then, of course, the LEGO model also has those horrid flick-fire missiles, which are fun play features for kids, but for mock builders and someone that just wants to throw it on for a really nice display piece, maybe not so much. And then we definitely have to take a look at the old Muunilinst 10 Gunship Republic Bricks sold versus the new one they sell. And you can see the new one has a bit of a different face. I definitely don't really prefer one face over the other. I think they both look really good in their own rights, and they didn't really need to change up much, and they didn't for this new one as far as the face goes. As far as the weapons at the front, you have a different design for how they're kind of connected in, and I think they look much better on the newer one, but definitely up to you what you think there. I really like the 45-degree angle for the ball thing in there versus the straight on, and then kind of the Lego style design that they used on the Lego sets, where it can just swivel around, and maybe that is preferable for it to swivel around, but if you just want it stuck in that one spot, kind of like I would, that's preferable. I just realized that the wings for this one are actually designed differently than the wings for this one, probably due to part availability, but I'm not 100% sure. But anyway, the old one here from Republic Bricks, just a bit more studs on top versus the more tiled off look. And like I said, they used to have the minifig here, and now they've gone for a much more accurate look with kind of the laser dish thing inside of there, and I definitely think that's nicer. It's also much smaller on there, so it's a little bit less distracting. Yeah, definitely a better look on that newer model on the left. I definitely prefer the single piece here to the 8 tiles here, because you can end up with some miscolorations both from LEGO and from just poor quality. It's definitely both, but using the one singular piece here I think looks the best. Not really sure what the cost difference is on that, but man, does that look much better. Same with this piece here. I think it looks so much cleaner with that versus the multi-piece use there. And then on the red one, they did use the single piece. So just a bit of different design between the gunships, which is a bit odd to me, but still looks good enough. At the end of the day, there are 3 of these gunships I would recommend buying if you're interested. I think the dark blue Muunilinst 10 gunship is the best looking, and I just love it. I love the Muunilinst 10 vibes. It's something that it feels like LEGO themselves will never make, so that's obviously the best time to go and pick up a custom set. However, I really wish there was an option available without minifigs. Those figs, I don't care too much about them, and I would just rather get the gunship if I was buying it. Maybe you're different, but I do wish there was a slightly cheaper option without figs available. The regular blue Muunilinst 10 gunship, if that's your vibe, go wild, but because the dark blue exists, I can't recommend the regular blue because I just think dark blue looks that much better. If you like it, go wild, but it's the one I wouldn't pick up of the 3 if I was going to get one. The regular red is nice, but it's the thing that LEGO might make next, most likely. Like, you can get a regular red UCS gunship if that's what you're looking for too. It's not one that I dislike and I wouldn't pick up necessarily, especially with the 6 very nice Phase 2 clone troopers there. But it's also like, well, LEGO might make it in the next year, and, you know, they probably won't make a Plos Bros or Muunilinst, so, you know, it's in that range, but there's not, like, something that trumps it where I'm like, well, definitely don't get it, so that's my view on that. And then we have the Plos Bros one, which is something I really wish LEGO would consider too, but probably won't. But with these Wolfpack troops plus Phase 1 Commander Wolf, I think those add a lot of value to a already very good-looking Republic gunship, and again, these are mocks, not LEGO sets, so they definitely have quirks and weak points that you might not expect, so definitely keep that in mind going into it. But if you're looking for a Republic gunship here at the end of 2022 and definitely looking into 2023, there are some good options out there from Republic Bricks. These and many more on his websites in many different color schemes, some of which I would just never even consider purchasing myself, but you know, there's a little something for everyone there, maybe, with some of these color schemes. It gets a little bit wild. But let me know what you guys think about these in the comments section below. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, and you can use code MNR on republicbricks.com to save 5%. Thanks for watching. See ya.